Well, let's switch gears and talk about some of the charity work and volunteering experiences that you've done outside of wrestling. Tell me about some of the organizations that you've partnered with over the years.
Oh, I've worked with some great programs. I've worked with one it's called Girls on the Run, and where basically you get these young ladies between uh, fourth grade and seventh grade. We teach them, we prepare them to run a 5K race. But the whole point is not the race itself, because during that training, which is so many months long, during that training, we're teaching self esteem goals. We're teaching them, to love yourself. We're teaching them, to not bully each other, to hold each other up, and to how to hold yourself up. And that all these lessons are being learned while we're training and running. And so once they finally get to that race and they cross the finish line, they're so much better because of it. They're so much stronger because of it. Not because they can physically run a race, which also feels great, but because they've learned who they are and how to be better persons for themselves. So that was one of my favorite ones. And currently, I am working with a program called School on Wheels. And so what it is that we go to Skid Row and we tutor kids there. So there's homeless kids, kids living in shelters, their cars, motels on the streets. And they don't have accessibility to all the things that other kids take for granted. So we go there and we tutor them and we just kind of listen to what they need. And that's been my favorite right now.
Oh, that's very special. That's very cool. I've never even thought of something like that before. The amount of people that are not able to go to school and actually get an education, uh, they're definitely missing out on something that's valuable. We definitely
Yeah,
take the education uh, system for granted at times because we're so consumed with other things that we forget. Like, hey, this stuff is very important.
and it's hard to focus on your math homework when you haven't eaten for the day or you don't know where you're going to sleep or some schools they don't allow you to attend if you don't have a permanent address. So these are things that we don't think that these kids, these poor children have to go through, and then there's no one there to listen to them or to be that to see them. So it feels very nice to be able to go there and be a strong presence, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, for someone who just has so little.
How long have you volunteered with this group?
I've been with this group about 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of my passion projects. During the pandemic, they had to go online, which was good that they still found a way to keep the program going.
Hmm.
But me personally, I love being one on one with the kids. Like Beast, don't let this hard exterior fool you. Beast is for the kids. So feels very nice to be there one on one with them, and sometimes they ask me questions about wrestling or what have you, what not. They want to see a few moves, and after homework's done, then Beast will run them around a little bit.
It's the reward system. You gotta love it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes. What's your favorite subject to teach?
Definitely not math. Definitely not math. I like history. History is
Mm.
my favorite. Just hearing about the stories from the past and what people have had to endure and what they've overcome. I think it teaches life lessons. It teaches compassion, it teaches strength, and I enjoy that quite a bit.
That's definitely a very, very valuable subject to learn. All of them are, but definitely that particular one. History is a really good subject to teach. So that's amazing. That's really amazing, and they get to learn from you, and the experience. It's just out of this world. It really is. I gotta love it.
Yeah, hopefully one day as these kids grow up, they'll be watching TV and be like, hey, wait a minute. That was my tutor. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
I know with all the stuff you've done with WoW and the stuff that you're doing outside of wrestling, why do you feel passionate about helping out in your community?
Because I have the opportunity to, because there are people out there who have a need and don't have a voice. And how dare I have a chance to help anyone, someone? Growing up, there I could have used a person like me. You know, I could have found my inner beast quicker, faster, and maybe I hadn't couldn't didn't have to go through some of the things I went through growing up. And if I get that chance to inspire some person, whether it's a young girl, young boy, or an adult person, to strive to be better, to say, oh, if she's doing this, why can't I try? Why can't I, get out there and take a chance on myself? If I can do that for one person, that would make my day. It would make it all worth it. The bumps, the bruises, the breaks, it would make it all worth it.
I love to hear that.